When fishing subsurface, it's important to be able to register a strike. We use different types of methods depending on how we're fishing to register that strike. With European nymphing, we use what we call a sighter.
A sighter is usually a section of high visibility monofilament built into the leader that you can track and watch in the river for any sort of indication of a strike in the form of hesitation or jerking or stopping, jumping, an angle change, something that looks different as your rig is drifting down the river.
The other style of rigging, we use a strike indicator to register the strike. Strike indicators, generally speaking, are floating devices that are going to suspend our rig and also indicate strikes.
There are a lot of pros and cons of both the sighter or European nymphing versus suspension nymphing. In most of the head-to-head comparisons, European nymphing outperforms the suspension device. One of the disadvantages of having a typical suspension type strike indicator is surface disturbance on the water. When you go to make a cast and that indicator hits, it's going to make a big splat. If that lands anywhere near a fish, there's a good chance it's going to spook it. Because the sighter is nothing more than a direct piece of monofilament already built into your leader, it leaves no more impact on the water than your leader falling on the water would. In addition, as you are making your drifts and you go to mend, if you stack mend or make a mend that moves the indicator at all, that's also going to cause disturbance on the surface of the water. Lastly, if I get down here and I end up needing to set the hook, setting that hook is going to bring that indicator straight across the top of the water and yet again make a nice big disturbance. The Euro nymphing rig avoids that by having a sighter that either doesn't touch the water or is very gentle when it lifts off the water if you set the hook. Because of the versatility in depth attainment and control, the Euro rig can easily fish shallow and deep water with equal success in both and with minimal changes to your rig in between, making it far more versatile and far easier to fish in a variety of water types than a typical suspension method. European nymphing requires no mending. It simply requires a high rod that tracks the leader through the drift. Because you have a short, tight line, you're instantly able to set the hook without having to remove any slack. The lack of slack and direct connection that a European leader provides increases your strike detection vastly over a typical suspension indicator nymphing method in most water types. One of the variables where indicator nymphing can outperform European nymphing is in the radius of presentation. Because you can suspend your rig at distance and make longer casts, you can fish further away from you with the suspension nymph method. So if you're in smooth or clear water where it's tough to approach fish, an indicator can be a benefit. However, in most water types where you have disturbances to the surface of the water and you're able to approach fish, European nymphing will often outperform suspension nymphing methods.